It's all station here on Sky Showcase. Note this is fan made only, all credits to Geoff Marshall.
Yo. The t-shirt's on.
I always forget my t-shirt.
The jacket's on, which means it's autumn.
Hello.
The rain jacket. We're
It's a special day today.
It's, do you want to do a thing?
Hashtag Stations Day.
Nicely done. To celebrate, we're at Waterloo Station, where we've been invited for a look around. So there's a nice man over there called Tristan, who we'll speak to in a second.
Yep.
And they're going to show us some of the background scenes behind Waterloo, including the bit
I'm so excited.
Vic is most excited about.
Well, where they filmed one of the Bourne films.
Matt Damon!
Matt Damon!
To Waterloo.
So this is on the north side of the station. The stairs, probably the most familiar entrance to most passengers, the stairs that go up under what is known as the Victory Arch. So it commemorates the First World War. You've got Britannia at the top, the statues left and right. On one side it shows war and on the other side it shows peace. There is a small plaque for the Second World War, but it's just focusing, this one is particularly focusing on the First World War.
Also, who do you reckon changes the flags at the top?
I think Tristan does.
So every 6 months,
Yeah.
he has to go up
And change because they get battered by the weather.
just to change out the flags at top. Okay. Hey Vic, what's the time?
I don't know, I don't have a watch.
If only there was a clock nearby. Why? It's an iconic thing to do. Some random person just walking through our shop. If you don't know this, it's the iconic place to meet at Waterloo is under the clock.
Yeah, that's wherever I meet people at Waterloo, it's always here.
Isn't there a scene in Only Fools and Horses where Del and Rodney, that he arranges to meet someone under the clock, like holding...
Isn't it Raquel who arranges to meet?
Right, okay.
I'm embarrassed by my Fools and Horses knowledge.
But how do they maintain it? Does somebody get on a very tall stepladder? You know this.
It's now all electrical, and so there's no mechanics anymore behind it, obviously to operate the hands, but it's all electrical. And there's a signal. You know more about this. I don't know. I didn't know this at all.
The time signal used to be at Rugby.
Right.
But I think it moved. Did you not know you can get clocks that just sync to a radio signal?
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, you can get clocks that just stay perfectly in time.
So the Waterloo clock will stay perfectly in time.
And the Waterloo clock is one of those. It will stay perfectly in time. I just thought it was like some old mechanical thing, but no, it is syncing to the time signal.
Okay, we've come through a magical door into a corridor where apparently they did some of the filming for Bourne. Do I need to do some sort of like forward roll?
In Bourne, they do this like shaky camera thing. Like the camera is like, they play action music and the camera just like wobbles from side to side. That's all that happened. But can you see that this is clearly an old passenger corridor because of the tiles? That's how to walk down the corridor normally. Do you want to be Jason Bourne, or shall I, you be chasing me, or I'll be Bourne and I'll be chasing you?
Can I be Jason Bourne?
Yes, you can. Here's the action sequence alternative of that shot. I can hear footsteps. It's a rather ghostly area. This is basically, these steps lead up to the concourse. There's a point up here, there used to be retail establishments. I remember an old branch of Paper Chase above us, and then sometime we think in the early 2000s this was all sealed off, decided it wasn't needed anymore, and it's been flattened over. So there are people walking above us right now, not realising there are old steps coming down. It does feel very ghostly and abandoned. Vicky?
Jeff?
Hi. You alright?
Yeah.
Okay, what's happening that side?
Dust?
Heading into the arches. It very much feels like we're behind the scenes, which was the purpose of the video. We're definitely in the area where the public can never get to go. Many, many years ago, worryingly, it might be as long as 20 years ago, when I used to commute into Waterloo daily, there was this bit out there, and there was a sign on that door out there saying staff canteen, and one day, I got a shock. I mean, I had a look inside and I could see these steps going down and this cavern inside, and it was a staff canteen. I'm now standing in that cavern. It's empty now. It's used sometimes by the retail outlets, but over here there's a brilliant thing. This feels like when we do Aldwych Hidden London tour and we talk about how Aldwych is used as a test bed for like experimental signage. You can see here there's an experimental platform number 2 sign. JC to serve the advertising people, like an experimental. It's a setup. It's basically an area where they've used to test how adverts and signs might look. Cool.
So whilst we might feel like we're underground in the arches and the tunnels, it's actually, the station's actually built slightly elevated because it was built on marshland. And these corridors would have been a hustle and bustle of freight coming in and coming out. The station was also built sort of east-west to allow ventilation to go through the station as well. Let's go see what's over here. Oasis. It's just lots of storage now. Lots of boxes and crates of drinks.
This video is not sponsored by Oasis.
No, okay. No.
Right, okay. There just happens to be a large crate of it over there with an attractive forklift. All right.
Did you just say an attractive forklift?
Yeah, some forklifts are more attractive than others. Yeah.
What?
I used to be a tractor fan, but now I'm a forklift fan. Do you know what that makes me? An ex-tractor fan. Hey.
Okay, we need to stop.
This section we're coming to now is just like a maintenance door. Again, there's that arch. There's an arch roof. It's weird. It doesn't smell damp. It smells of. It's like an aniseed sweet. It was like stepping into a sweet shop. Why would it smell of a sweet shop? It smells of a sweach shop. There's an old bench, there's old signs, there's an old park your bike here sign. There's something with the South West Trains logo on. Oh, old railway company. Apparently this glass door here is a spare metal door. Metal? Glass. From the Victory Arch where we were earlier. So if ever anyone like runs into it and breaks one, they have a spare one sitting here, and a traffic bollard, obviously, because all good maintenance rooms need a traffic bollard. Not only is this video not sponsored by Oasis, it's not sponsored by
Lush.
And we've just worked out
what the smell
is.
There is like a tiny, I think it must be the world's smallest Lush shop in Waterloo. You can barely move around it. But now you've said it,
it's clearly Lush.
Classic Lush smell.
It's the Lush smell. From the smell, this one's the Lush. Wow. That's really overpowering. Oh. It's genuinely a little bit of a labyrinth down here now. Entering an area, there's like a very, I'm ahead, there's a very strong metal door there, and another one here. There's an old telephone exchange. There's so much peeling paint that will just flake off.
I found the winter salt store.
You found the winter salt store?
Yeah.
That is the high point. Do I need any salt?
Just learned that it's not. I'm going to use Tristan's word. It's a different kind of ice melting compound. It's not actually salt because that would rust important bits of infrastructure, which makes perfect sense.
Due to short platforms, customers for New Milton should travel in the front 5 coaches of the train.
So One of the most exciting things for me being here at Waterloo is it is one of the locations for where they filmed The Bourne Identity, and at the time I was cycling through London and I actually saw Matt Damon outside of the station at the time on the street. But there's a scene in the film where he's chasing somebody along this corridor, and it's just incredible to kind of be in these locations. And here is James. Hello James.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. So when people want to film at somewhere like Waterloo Station, like how is that possible?
Because there's so many processes involved. Obviously it's a massive station. There's so many people that commute through here. It's the busiest station in the country and the whole of the United Kingdom. So there are a lot of processes that people have to take, and you know, there is quite a substantial cost involved in that, as is to be expected.
So when they filmed Bourne, did they do it during the day? Because it looks like it's during the day. And how did that work logistically with regular passengers?
So when Bourne was filmed, it was all when the station was open to the public, and we put a lot of extras in one particular place, so that then people just kind of naturally navigate around them.
So Geoff and I are thinking of branching out into like blockbuster movies. Like if we wanted to do something here, how much are we talking?
I mean, it would depend on who you know.
Okay. Oh, Geoff, we might be in.
What? We could do
All the Stages feature film.
Okay, we've got about 50 quid. Can we film our
What can we get?
What can we get for £50? Have you enjoyed your time at Waterloo?
Yes.
It's been great.
It's been so cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks to
James,
Tristan, James, Paul, Noddy G. Remember, it's
Hashtag
Station Day. Go celebrate Station Day by going to your nearest station right now and taking a trip.
Go on.
Is that got?
Don't watch it. There's only like the coda funny bit. You can watch that later.
No, we're going to have a really impressive view from a balcony up high of Waterloo Station. Let's cut to that.